Think about the worst kind of pain. For a lot of us, it's lying back in a bright, sterile dentist chair, hearing that high-pitched drill, and then being handed a massive bill for a cavity or a set of braces. We spend billions of dollars every year on toothbrushes, minty pastes, mouthwashes, and painful orthodontics just to keep our teeth from rotting out of our skulls. Now imagine a prehistoric hunter-gatherer living 15,000 years ago. They never saw a toothbrush. They never flossed. They didn't even know what dentistry was. You would probably expect their mouths to be a horrific nightmare of yellow, rotting, and missing teeth. But when archaeologists dig up ancient skulls, they discover something that makes modern dentists jealous. These primitive cavemen had perfectly straight, bright white teeth, 0 cavities, and all 4 wisdom teeth perfectly in place. How is this possible? The truth will completely change how you look at your dinner plate. If you close your eyes and picture a prehistoric caveman, what do you see? Thanks to decades of Hollywood movies and popular cartoons, we all share the exact same mental image. We imagine a grunting brute wearing a dirty animal pelt. And if that caveman happens to smile, we expect to see a horrific dental disaster, a mouth full of crooked, yellowed, rotting, and missing teeth. We have been conditioned by pop culture to believe that bad teeth are the ultimate symbol of being uncivilized. And honestly, this assumption makes perfect logical sense to our modern brains. We know that prehistoric hunter-gatherers lived thousands of years before the invention of running water, fluoride toothpaste, or dental floss. They lived outdoors, surrounded by dirt. In our modern minds, we think, if I stop brushing my teeth for just a few days, my mouth will feel disgusting. Therefore, if someone goes their entire life without brushing, their teeth must inevitably rot and fall out. We project our modern biological fragility onto our ancient ancestors. But this is where the media and our common sense have completely lied to us. The physical evidence tells a shockingly different story. When bioarchaeologists examine the skulls of humans who lived during the Paleolithic era, the true hunter-gatherers of the Ice Age, they don't find mouths full of decay. Instead, they find broad, strong jawbones filled with teeth that are heavily worn down from years of chewing, but fundamentally healthy. There are virtually no signs of the deep, black cavities that plague modern humans. Finding a cavity in a skull from the Paleolithic era is so incredibly rare that when scientists do find one, it makes academic news. Let that sink in. The people who never brush their teeth and who use their mouths as tools to grip animal hides had better overall dental health than the average modern adult. How is it possible that the dirty caveman managed to avoid the very dental diseases that cost us billions of dollars to treat today? We have completely misunderstood what actually causes teeth to rot. The real enemy was never dirt or a lack of oral hygiene. To understand why our ancient ancestors had such flawless teeth, we first need to understand why modern teeth rot. We have been sold a lie that teeth naturally decay over time, unless you scrub them with chemicals twice a day. But human teeth are incredibly resilient. They are coated in enamel, the hardest substance in the entire human body. Your teeth do not just rot on their own, they are actively dismantled. The true enemy is a biological attack orchestrated by a specific type of bacteria living in your mouth, primarily one called Streptococcus mutans. But here is the catch. This bacteria is completely harmless on its own. To cause any damage, it requires a very specific type of fuel. That fuel is sugar and fermentable carbohydrates. Every time you eat a donut, a slice of bread, or drink a soda, you are throwing a massive feast for these microscopic invaders. The bacteria gorge themselves on the sugar, and, as a byproduct, they excrete lactic acid. It is this highly corrosive acid that sits on your teeth and literally melts away your enamel, carving out the black holes we call cavities. Now, let us look at the daily menu of an Ice Age hunter-gatherer. Their diet consisted mostly of lean wild game, tough fibrous roots, nuts, seeds, and maybe a handful of seasonal wild berries. Do you notice what is completely missing? There were no refined sugars and no heavily processed carbohydrates. Because ancient humans consumed almost zero fermentable sugar, the cavity-causing bacteria in their mouths were constantly starved. Without fuel, the bacteria could not produce the acid needed to destroy enamel. Furthermore, the constant chewing of tough, fibrous wild foods acted like a natural toothbrush, physically scraping the teeth clean. They didn't need toothpaste because their diet was their ultimate biological defense. So, when did human teeth become a global disaster? The fossil record pinpoints the exact moment: the agricultural revolution. About 10,000 years ago, humans stopped hunting and started farming. Our diet shifted dramatically from wild meats and plants to farmed grains like wheat, barley, and rice. These grains are dense carbohydrates that break down into simple sugars right inside the mouth. Suddenly, the bacteria had an endless buffet. The archaeological evidence is undeniable. The moment humans learned how to bake bread, tooth decay exploded across the entire globe. So, the absence of processed sugar beautifully explains why our prehistoric ancestors never suffered from deep cavities. But what about the crooked teeth? Why are modern orthodontists making millions of dollars off teenagers today, while ancient skulls possess teeth that are naturally straighter than a Hollywood actor's smile? The answer lies in the sheer size of the jawbone itself, and a fascinating biological mechanism that we have completely abandoned. Look at your own mouth, or ask anyone who has had the miserable experience of having their wisdom teeth surgically removed. For modern humans, our jawbone is simply too small to comfortably fit all 32 adult teeth. They violently crowd together, overlap each other, or get painfully trapped under the gum line. We tend to assume that this is just a tragic genetic flaw in human evolution. But human genetics have not changed that drastically in the last 15,000 years. What changed was the daily mechanical stress we put on our faces. The human body is an incredibly adaptive machine. There is a fundamental biological principle that bone grows, expands, and strengthens in direct response to the physical stress placed upon it. For a prehistoric child growing up in the brutal conditions of the Ice Age, chewing was a serious daily workout. From the moment they developed teeth, they were actively gnawing on tough, dried wild game, cracking open hard nuts, and grinding down raw, fibrous roots. They had to chew with immense mechanical force for hours every single day just to consume enough calories to survive. All of this heavy, repetitive chewing sent powerful biological signals to their growing bodies. We need a wider, thicker, and longer jawbone to handle this massive workload. And the body delivered. Their jaws naturally grew wide enough to comfortably house every single tooth, including the massive third molars, which we call wisdom teeth. Their teeth grew in perfectly straight simply because there was plenty of room for them to align. Now, take a good look at the modern diet. We feed our growing children pureed baby food, applesauce, and impossibly soft pasta. Even our adult food requires almost zero effort. We boil our vegetables until they melt, we eat tenderized factory-farmed meat, and we drink our fruit through blended smoothies. We barely have to chew our food at all. Because we are no longer stressing our jawbones during crucial childhood development, our lower faces literally do not grow to their full genetic potential. Our jaws are physically shrinking. We don't have crooked teeth because we have bad genetics. We have crooked teeth because our modern world has engineered a diet so incredibly soft and effortless that our facial bones never fully develop. So, here we are, living in the ultimate irony of human progress. We possess the most advanced dental technology in the history of the world. We have ultrasonic plaque scrapers, invisible aligners, titanium implants, and mint-flavored fluoride treatments. Yet, despite all of this futuristic medical science, we naturally have the absolute worst oral health of any generation of humans to ever walk the face of the earth. We literally spend billions of dollars every single year trying to artificially reconstruct the perfectly straight, cavity-free smiles that our cave-dwelling ancestors got for free just by eating their dinner. We traded the powerful, robust jaws of our past for the dangerous convenience of soft pastries and sugary drinks. Now, a very quick but important disclaimer. Please do not throw your toothbrush in the garbage. cancel your dentist appointment, and start gnawing on raw tree bark in your backyard. Your teeth and jaws were still shaped by a modern, soft diet, and you live in a world entirely surrounded by processed sugars. Unless you are planning to move to an icy cave and hunt wild game with a spear, you absolutely still need to brush and floss your teeth. Let the cavemen keep their hardcore lifestyle. If this video made you rethink everything you knew about our prehistoric past, and maybe made you want to chew your food a little bit harder today, hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing history myths busted. Leave a comment below letting us know what ancient mystery we should uncover next. Keep wondering, keep learning, and as always, stay simply ancient.